Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Rundles. And today, for a moment of motivation, I want to talk from a process of thought. Faith produces results. It will be derived from the gospel according to St. Matthew's. How many realize that there was a ruler, and his name was Jairus, as we find out. And while Jesus was talking on other things, certain things, he came to Jesus because his 12-year-old daughter has just died. And I just like the narrative. The 18th verse of the ninth chapter says, while he spake these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler and worshiped him, saying, my daughter is even now dead at this present time. But come lay thy hands upon her, and she shall live. And how many realize that we're talking about faith? How many know that death is an insurmountable barrier? But how many know that faith moves insurmountable barriers? The word surmount means to get or be on top of. It means to overcome obstacles. Insurmountable barriers, insurmountable, the word, are things that cannot be overcome. So while he was saying this, a synagogue leader came and kneeled before him and said, my daughter has just died. But come anyway, my God, in here, and put your hands on her, and she will live. So we look at death as being an insurmountable barrier. There's no coming back from that. But how many realize that? But it didn't move Jesus. Jesus didn't mince words with him. But he immediately gets up and follows this man. Because why? God is able. Faith produces results. So Matthew also only en route. There is an immense crowd there. But it was a woman with an issue of blood for 12 years, touched the hem of his garment. How many realize that there are some diseases that are incurable? There are certain things that cancers and other things that people have to die with or manage to live with. But how many realize that if you have the faith to believe God, how many realize that man can have it, then God can heal it? My God is here. They are insurmountable barriers. But in the Bible reads, and behold, a woman who suffered from a discharge of blood for 12 years came up behind and touched the fringe of his garment. My God in here. And she said within herself, oh Lord, if I only can touch his garment, I will be made well. Understand that. Jairus says, if you come and touch her, she will live. She's saying, if I touch him, that I will be well. My God is here. So he talks to us, and it's in other gospels, Matthew and Mark. She said, if I can only touch Jesus. For she said within herself privately, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be made whole. My God. Note, in this text, she is embracing the promise that the Messiah had healing in his wings. Woo! She looked upon Jesus and believed that he was who he claimed to be. How many realize that if man can have it, then God can heal it? When she had touched the hem of his garment, it was the same as touching him. She looked to him by faith, and when her faith touches his grace, she was healed. Woo! How many realize that faith is a reflective of Jesus? How many know supernaturally this woman had tried all the natural means? She had spent all her money. She had gone to the doctor. And how many know she got worse instead of better? She had to leave home and be away from her family. She had a condition, a bleeding condition, where she had to quarantine for at least 7 days. But how many know she stayed there and she bled for 12 long years, weak, stinking now, and isolated and away from everyone. Anyone who got close, she had to have a sign to let them know that she was unclean. How many realize that it was the contact and the presence of Jesus that matters, though? Ooh, how many realize that she broke the laws about getting in the crowd? Whatever it took for her to get to Jesus, she was willing to do that. So he tells us he touched his healing power because he sympathizes with our weakness. No matter what's going on in your life, I mean, know that God cares, the Lord cares, and is the source of a life in grace. Our responsibility is to seek him in every situation. Seek healing to draw near to Jesus and to live in his presence. Because why? Faith produces results. How many know now at this time, words come back, don't trouble the master any longer? But how many know as we set the scene, as I get ready to close, the scene described here is a typical of Middle Eastern home where someone lay dead. And how many know mourners were actually hired to make noise? The minister was flutist in Jesus' statement that the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. My God, in here. Ooh, that the maid is not but dead, but sleepeth. That her death, though real, was ultimately going to be a temporary sleep in light of the fact that he would quickly raise her back to life again. But the first thing that can happen for your faith to produce results is you have to get rid of negative words. You have to get all the doubters out, because why? Doubt hinders faith, and disbelief will cause you to lose out. Woo! He that cometh to God must believe that he is a rewarder of them who were diligently seek him. My God, in here, the whole chapter is full of things. Jairus' daughter, 12 years old, had died. This woman who had an issue of blood for 12 years, an incurable disease. Let's back up 12 years earlier. In my theological point of view, think about this. 12 years earlier, the baby was in the incubator. Ooh, and the woman visited her first doctor visit. How many realize that? One died and one had an incurable disease. But something happens when you touch Jesus and when he touches you. How many realize that faith produces a result? If thou can only believe, all things are possible to them that believe. Jesus, if you touch my daughter, she will be made new. And how many realize that Jesus spoke to her? He put everybody outside, closed the door, locked the door actually. And he only had the members of the inner circle, Jairus and his wife. And he spoken to the daughter. He said, daughter, I say, arise. And the 12-year-old baby got up. My God, in here. If I just touch Jesus, I will be made new. This is what she said. Think about the contrast. One was dead. Woo! Jesus touched. One touched Jesus, who had an incurable disease. Yes, God. I mean, Jesus touched a young girl and she was made brand new. No matter what you're going through, if thou can only believe, all things are possible. I mean, you will make it through any situation if you only believe. All things are possible to them that believe, because why? Faith produces results. No matter what it is, no matter what your situation that you're in. How many know if you can only just trust God and believe in God, how many know that God will see you through every circumstance? We hope this moment of motivation has blessed you today. God bless.